I can hear the birds chirping. Hey, welcome to Skinny Water Lures and talking with Dragon Tails Fishing. So today we're going to do a little podcast. This is our very first one. So please, guys, don't harm us in the reviews of this video. So what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about our fishing trips, the tournaments that we go on. We might put some product reviews in here, aka Skinny Water Lures, maybe some other products. But we're also going to just be talking in general and just shooting the breeze and talking about certain things that go on in our adventures while we're fishing. I want to introduce two of my guys here. We got one on the stage now, Chris Crago. How you doing, buddy?
What's up? What's up?
And now I'm going to add in Jesse. Jesse, let's pray. How you doing, buddy?
What's happening?
Yeah. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the Redfish Series tournament, Florida Redfish Series tournament. That tournament just happened. That was the first stop. How many stops are there? Do you guys know?
6.
Six.
There's 6 stops and then the championship, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want to start out by just getting you guys to talk about your trip. What happened? Chris, tell me what happened, man.
Well, started off loading everything up, a couple of days before we headed down. I believe it was Thursday. The tournament was Saturday, so we went a couple of days earlier. Just trying to get a feel for some pre-fishing since we didn't really make it down there too much beforehand. So we went down there knowing a spot that we wanted to fish. We had fished there before. It produced pretty good. So we went down to the same spot and got down there and caught a few fish, caught a bunch of trout and a bunch of flounder. Struggled to find any reds off the bat, which by the time we got there, the tide was a little bit different than what we were going to fish on tournament day.
I heard you guys also got a late start too.
Yeah, that was on the tournament day. We got a late start, but for pre-fishing, we got there and the tide was a little bit different.
Okay.
So we kind of thought maybe, that threw it off a little bit since we didn't find any reds right off the bat. Because the tournament was, it was going to be low tide during the tournament.
Yeah.
So when we got there Thursday to pre-fish, the tide was high by the time we got there. So it kind of threw off the pattern a little bit. We thought, all right, well, maybe during tournament day, since it's low tide, the fish will be where we thought they were going to be at. So we stuck to our game plan and, did a little pre-fish on Thursday and Friday. Didn't really catch too many reds, caught a few, smaller ones, tons of trout, tons of flounder. Had to deal with a million airboats flying past you. And
how was that? I bet you those guys were loud.
Scaring everything
That's
off.
his favorite.
Not to mention the fog, looked like you're in Pirates of the Caribbean out there in the middle of nowhere in a kayak. And then all of a sudden,
ghost ship coming by.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you got a airboat or a regular boat that flies up on you and almost runs you over. It's kind of spooky when you're out there with no electronics. You're only on your kayak, hoping that the cell service that you have that you could use Google and hopefully you could get back. Because there is no intercoastal over there. You're going from land out to the Pacific. You're going straight out to the ocean. And when it's low tide, everything pushes way out deep, so you're paddling a couple miles out. But
awesome. So Jesse, how did it go for you?
Well, it was pretty much about the same, just getting ready a couple days before, making sure you get everything and you're not leaving stuff like your keys like I did last year and had to drive back, 4 hours.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That
happened at last year's championship, right?
No, that was last year's opening round at Steenahatchee. Just actually, same thing.
Yeah, if you did it again, then I would wonder about you.
Yeah, I'd have been done tournament fishing that right there. I would have retired. But yeah, no, just getting everything loaded and making everything, sure everything's charged and everything because, you're just fortunate to, have that Torpedo motor to kind of use it for pre-fishing so you can kind of cover the grounds and stuff. That's what we do. We kind of, hook up for a little bit, kind of push out somewheres and then, kind of spread out and, pre-fish that way. So we're not really killing yourself, with the legs so you can really push hard and far on tournament day. But no, just getting everything loaded and we got to. I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Ronnie over in Steenhatchee, because his little VRBO over
Yeah,
there
he
is
hooked it up.
perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. Just what you need for going out for kayak fishing and stuff like that, or fishing with a boat. Either which way. But yeah, no, we get out there that morning and decided to go ahead and go on out and did a little pre-fishing, and it was foggy. I tell you, that was a little eerie foggy. It was pretty bad in the morning, and usually, in Florida, the sun will burns the fog away, and got it hit like one or so, and I mean, what do you think, Chris? 50 feet or so in certain areas that you couldn't see.
Sometimes it was less than that.
Yeah. So I mean, if I didn't have my phone with like Chris was saying with Google Map to stay in the channel to at least get me back, I couldn't even see the sun to see north south, or east west or whatever. I couldn't even see the direction that I was going.
Cell service or GPS, man, you guys would have been a little.
I would have. I told Chris if something happened to my phone, I just would have like power pulled down and just stayed where I was at until I could see, because I wouldn't have wanted to keep pedaling, and all of a sudden you look out and you're in the middle of the dang Gulf of Mexico, So
head to Cozumel.
Yeah. So I mean, we try to pre-fish as much as we could. The trout were just pretty thick. I mean, between pre-fishing and the tournament, there were a couple holes where I stopped counting at about 20 or so on the trout, where it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I saw some of your photos. You were catching them, that's for sure.
Yeah, but it was just
trout too.
Yeah, and it was frustrating too, because the championship round you'd catch 3 or 4, and all of a sudden you catch a nice little slot or just under red. So I was thinking hopefully that's the same pattern, and yeah, I think me and Chris both came to the conclusion they were a little bit in the mud, maybe even a little shallower. I mean, I didn't go, everywhere I pulled down and staked out, my pole never bottomed out. So I was, always in at least just maybe 4 feet or less. But, hoping in the wintertime, like the patterns usually say, deeper in the winter in the morning, shallower in the afternoon. And it was just frustrating. It was a learning experience on what not to do or what adjustments to make during those kind of conditions. So
awesome. So you guys went to the once y'all were done fishing, y'all went to the captain's meeting. How was how was all that?
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, captain meeting is cool. Everybody gets together. It's like a big get together. Everybody's talking, hanging out, and
telling lies.
Shooting shit and just talking and hanging out. And you see everybody. The boater side gets to bring their stuff in, which this year is the second year for the kayaks. Florida Redfish Series started 2020, I believe. And it started as a boat-only tournament. And then last year was the first year that they added the kayak division into it, which I think it was about 40 or 50 usually entries last year for kayaks. This year being the second year, we had 76 kayakers on the kayak side, which we were beating the boat side in entries at first, and then at the very end, the boating team came back and they ended up having 80 teams.
Wow. That's still good, because that just shows the tournament's going to continue, of course, and the payouts are going to get bigger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting bigger and bigger.
For first? Yeah, what was it last year for first? What was it, like
last year was
1,500? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so when I won the St. Augustine one, it was 1,500.
Okay.
Right.
So this year they paid 5,000.
I saw that.
It was like 5,550 or something for first.
It's
pretty cool. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
he's a heck of a fisherman. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. So yeah, that sounds like a really good time. Y'all ate a lot of good food.
Oh,
Too much.
Wouldn't have. Yeah, I lived through you guys. Unfortunately, the very first tournament of the year, I had to work. You guys, I'm living through you. Tell me about every bit of that.
Well, the Kathy's is good. Kathy's Crab Shack. That's a really good place. So y'all ever out there, check that out. Then we met up with Jimmy and Chad and everybody.
Yeah.
I saw the picture, man.
What was that pizza place? What was that pizza place?
Stoney's.
Stoney's. That was a pretty good pizza place there. And then after the weigh in there, Jimmy was kind enough to invite us all over, and oh my God, they had beef tenderloin, they had pork tenderloin with boudin, they had boudin sausage, ahi
tuna.
tuna,
Yeah,
yeah,
ahi
just,
tuna.
Hey, right
yeah,
there.
just
Man.
everything was just
Opposite side.
absolutely amazing.
They hooked it up for sure. It
Yeah,
was
no, huge thank you. Great
Awesome.
hospitality, great people. Everybody was super friendly, and yeah, it was
It's
a
an
good time.
awesome series for people that have never fished it before or are thinking about fishing it. I mean, there's a lot of people that are brand new to it. There's a lot of people that are very experienced. It's there's a whole different level of experiency that are fishing it. So, I mean, if it's something that you're thinking about doing, come out and check it out and join. And it's a fun time. Even,
Oh yeah, the fellowship, man.
out there.
That
I got to read
camaraderie, for
everybody's
sure.
Facebook posts and all that stuff, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have been there with you guys because man,
No doubt.
it's just the camaraderie between everybody, especially. And we only know it from the kayak side. I imagine it's the same way with the boat guys. Before the tournament, everybody is like brothers and sisters, but the minute y'all get on the water now, hey, don't come near me, man.
Don't bother me.
It's like Bobby
Don't
always
bother me
wanting us
until
to
2 or 3.
video. We're over here trying to fish. Like, Bobby, we're trying to tournament fish, not
I know.
video.
I'm typing to him. Get me video. Get me pictures. Get
I
me
can't.
something.
It's just a mentality. And
I'm
now we
at
were
work.
talking
2
about
o'clock
that.
in the morning. I'm sitting at work. I ain't got nothing to do but roll around and do rounds. I need to see fish, man. I need to see
Yeah.
something.
I was telling Chris, I was like, man, and even after tournament, like right when lines are in, it takes me almost an hour to kind of get out of that mentality where it's like
Yeah.
I'm pretty short, like just trying to figure out what happened. Unless I had a great date, then I'll probably, then I'm pretty vocal about it. But at that moment, I was just trying to decompress and get out of it. And then I'm thinking to myself, man, if this would have, which kind of helped me break it pretty quick too. But it was like, man, if I would have just out here getting content or just going out to have fun, this would have been such a phenomenal trip because I mean,
Oh yeah.
I caught over probably 50 or 60 trout.
Right. And you were probably at that point.
Yeah, a couple little reds, but they were rat. And then I caught a 21-inch flounder, which unfortunately he didn't want to smile for the camera, so he said right out of my hands after I had trout slime all in it all day. So that was horrible.
It's so funny because during the pre-fishing, we're all a team. We're all helping each other out, trying to get through the oysters and stuff like that. Yeah. Tournament day comes and you all push off, and here's Jesse getting stuck in the back. And we're like, bye, Jesse. See ya.
Yeah.
It's like, ain't nobody helping nobody at that point.
And I knew. I was like, I just pulled the paddle board paddle out and just started getting into some shallower
or
spots.
vice versa. I got stuck
that late
trying to
start.
get out, and Hunter's over there staring at me like, he's laughing at me, and I'm over here cussing because I'm stuck, bottomed out. And there's a boat next to me that's bottomed out also, and we're like, all right, I guess we're just chilling right here for a minute.
Yeah,
until you get out and start walking.
That late start got it rough.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, if it would have got 30 more minutes or so, we probably wouldn't have been able to make it out. We would have got stuck in there and just had to wait for the tides to shift. And then the thing about it is right now, and I'm not saying anything bad, but I just think that it's pretty unfortunate, I guess I'll say it that way, that we can't relaunch. And I guess my opinion about that is we're all adults, and if you forget to take a relaunch picture, I'm sorry, you get disqualified. I would not want anything different if I did the same thing. So I just think, because the boats can, I mean, they put in, one spot, but they can run 60 miles plus, almost 100 miles. And we have to kind of be stuck in the one general area. Like I said, I'm not no bad mouth or anything. I just think that could be a rule in the future that they could possibly change, just because just leave it up to the angler to make the decision. And if he or she cannot make that decision or make that mistake, just like spelling anything or doing anything that would violate a rule, you're disqualified. So
yeah,
it's just,
this tournament's definitely gotten a little more strict. You got to use a specific.
They got to.
You got to have the picture a certain way now. They've added rules as they go. It's going to get. I think it's going to.
You kind of have to, because the way that
Yeah.
they're, 2 of the rounds now are redfish, the power pole, qualifiers. So they got to run it tight,
Right.
Got the third party judges now, so no bias on anything. Which I didn't say that there was, but it just keeps anything from going on.
Okay. So while you guys were out there, I'll start with you, Chris. What do you think the conditions were like? Do you think they were overly harsh, or do you think that they were? Give me your opinions on what you thought the conditions were.
Conditions were tough. It was low tide when we got out there. We had a fog delay, so we couldn't start till 8, which I think dead low tide was about 8 o'clock. So it was dead low tide trying to get out there. Not to mention that the wind was eventually picked up, was blowing probably 15 or 20, I believe.
Yeah.
If not more than that. So it was pretty tough between the low tide and the wind. That made it tough alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give you a question, Jesse. You ready?
Sure.
I didn't tell you what I was gonna ask you. So
That's all right.
Did you use any hard baits, or did you only use soft baits?
Let me think about that real quick.
Weird.
Because I know on tournament day, I think I switched like 2 different things, but 99% of the time I threw that 4-inch green goblin paddle tail from Skinny
So
Water
you just
Lures
use
from you
soft
guys.
baits, or did you use any hard baits?
That's what I was trying to think. I don't even think no, because I was gonna start throwing a little bit of Miradine, seeing if I could pull some off of that, off of and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even think I did. I don't think I threw top water or anything. I think I was just swim baiting a little jerk shad. I think that was pretty much it. I did throw paddle tail with a little spinner blade on the bottom, underbelly. So yeah, but no, for the most part, man, I just been depending on water column depth, just using the different jig head to get that certain paddle tail down, whether it be 2.5, the 3, or the 4, from Skinny Water Lures. So,
well, what about you, Chris? Did you use any hard?
Yeah. So I started off first thing. I was like, let me take a chance. I threw a top water on, thinking, well, it's probably too cold. They're not going to hit it. But I threw it on. First 4 casts, I got 4 hits right off the rip. Kept blowing it up in the water, in the air. Kept missing the hook. So I was like, damn. Then finally that bite slowed down, so I switched to a paddle tail, which I ended up the 3-inch, or not the 3-inch, but the 4-inch Skinny Water Lures Green Goblin. I switched to that color, which is a paddle tail, and caught a couple fish, a couple small ones, a couple trout, flounder on it. Eventually, I switched over to the Skinny Water Lures hard bait, the new suspending twitch bait, and didn't get anything on it. It worked. Action was great on it. I was trying to throw it in some of the deeper holes, hoping I could get something to hit it, but mainly I stuck to the 4-inch paddle tail.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to end the video here because I don't want to get it too long. We're already at like 18, almost 20 minutes. So I want to thank everybody for watching who had watched. We're going to try to do more of these. We're going to get a little better. Hopefully there's no echoing because I can hear some echoing in the background, but we're going to get that all taken care of for our first video. I think we did really well. I want to thank Chris and Jesse for being on board. And until the next time, guys, watch our podcast. We're going to have some more of these guys. See you guys
later.
Take care.